before I take it in tonight. You know, when you set apart and you're walking and you're trying to do the right thing, you're trying to do the righteous thing, you're dealing with yourself and you're dealing with everything that is a hindrance to you, right? First of all, let me say, chosen people, people who are set apart, and I'm going to say chosen ones, and don't take this as, I'm saying it to be, arrogant or place myself above anyone. People who are chosen know we're very humble. We're very humble. We're very humble people. We don't have to roar to be seen. We don't have to do all the extras that people do to be seen, right? But what I want to say is about chosen, the chosen vessels. Okay, first of all, I want to say people who are chosen have a past, right? They have some of the, I would say, worst past, depending on the situation, right? Depending on what people consider worst. But I'm speaking from my experience. We have a past as chosen ones, right? One, the past don't define us. Two, we did things out of ignorance before we knew we were chosen, right? Like, that's part of life. You live and grow. Everyone has a past, right? Everyone has a past. Whether that you was promiscuous, whether you were an adulterer, maybe you harmed someone, maybe you molested someone, maybe you did whatever. Y'all gonna fit the category. Somebody has a past, okay? So let's clear that, okay? Y'all looking at my finger. I cut myself with the can. So I don't want you all to think that when I come online, I'm coming on here with this righteous spirit. If you could pick up by the spirit, you already know that's not the energy I'm coming in, okay? But one thing about chosen, anointed, set apart vessels, they know who they are, right? They know who they are. They didn't know who they were in the past, but since they started doing the work, now they know who they are. They know whose they are. They know, they know they're set apart. They know they're different, and they're okay with that now, right? But what I want to say and what I want to talk about, you see the title. Chosen vessels have always experienced this because our character is so forthcoming. Our character is, we have a righteous character. Our character is righteous. We come from a pure place. And a lot of times when we get around people tend to feel the conviction. It's not that we're convicting them. It's that our character brings about conviction. And we don't do it on purpose, right? People will often feel like you're judging them. You haven't said anything. You're not thinking it in your mind. They feel like you're judging them because you have a certain set of boundaries and beliefs that you stand on. You have certain convictions that you stand on. And when you have these certain convictions and boundaries and standards, people often feel like you're judging them. And out of all people, with that past and history you have and the family you came from, you don't have the room. You won't even judge. You won't even see what people say. And sometimes, let me clear this too. Let me say this. Sometimes people get correction and judging mixed up. Just because somebody corrects you, that doesn't mean that they're judging you. Anyone that corrects you and try to put you on the right path, that person loves you. You are loved by that person because they can foresee where you're headed. They can foresee the consequences of your actions. Okay, let's clear that up. Okay? Because chosen, anointed, separated vessels, we are truth tellers. We can't help that. Okay? We can't help how we are. We are wired that way. It's something in us. We don't want to tell the truth all the time. We're forced to. We don't want to be honest all the time because we know our honesty will bring about separation. People will get mad at us. We don't want to. We don't want to say certain things because when we say certain things, people we love fall in those categories. Although we're not talking about them, we're talking about the situation. We don't have them in mind, but the truth is the truth. The truth gonna stand on its own. Whether I'm in it, whether my kids are in it, whether whoever is in it, the truth gonna stand on its own. But when you a truth teller, and when you are pure at heart, when you're chosen, when you're set apart, when you always want to do what's right on a job, at home, in your family, with your children, you just want to do what's right. No, you're not perfect. And we all know that. And we have to stop saying that as a prerequisite for us to say the truth. Because we'll say, oh, nobody's perfect. No, we already know that. No one is perfect. Heck, just last year, I went through some stuff that I know I shouldn't have been doing. But does that keep me from saying the truth? Because the truth is the truth. I know I shouldn't have been doing what I did. Okay? But that's the thing. The truth is going to stand on its own. I had to deal with that. I had to face that. I had to confront that. But the truth is going to be there. But what I want to tell you all, when you walk and you always try to do what's right, you try to go by the book, you're going to try to do what's right. Right? You're going to speak what's right. Your heart is pure. You try to do what's right. People will always find an occasion against you. They will always look for a reason to try to provoke you, a reason to try to make you stumble, a reason to try to make you look bad, a reason to try to let people know you're not that upright person. They'll always look for a reason to try to provoke you, a reason to try to get you to snap. The reason, they'll look for a reason to try to make you look bad. But you have to know by the spirit. That's why it's good to be spiritual, because you have to know spiritually. You will know what they're doing. You'll know what people are trying to do. You'll know how that spirit is trying to operate. You will know what is being taken place. Right? But people always try to find an occasion. Like, it's almost like Daniel. That's where I get that word from. If you read the book of Daniel, how, all the high priests and higher ups and kings were trying to find an occasion with him because he had that excellent spirit. Whenever you walk and you do things with excellence and you try to do your best, you give your all, you're going to have people that are trying to find an occasion with you. They're going to try to find a reason to trip you up. They're going to try to, and another thing, they'll lie on you, right? They'll come against your character. Every chosen vessel, you pure at heart. You're not around here trying to cause harm to people. People will lie on you. They're going to come for your character because they can't find anything else, because you're a truth teller. You're a truth teller. You're not trying to hide your shortcomings. You're not trying to hide what you've gone through. If anything, you're going to use what you've gone through to help someone else. See, when they can't use anything, when they can't use things against you, what you've done, because you're going to admit to your past, you're going to admit to your shortcomings, so they can't hold that over your head. So what they're going to do is lie on you. They're always exactly looking for a fault in you because you're honest. You're going to tell the truth. You're going to say, yeah, I did that. You're going to say, yes, I've been through that. You're going to say, yes, I said that. I shouldn't have said it. And the first thing we'll do, we'll apologize for it. We'll say, you know what? We'll come into agreement. We'll say, you know what? I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that like that. I shouldn't have treated you that way. You know, like we're not people who are prideful. That's how they did Daniel. They tried to find occasion with him. Okay. They tried to tell Daniel not to pray at a certain time, but Daniel was going to be obedient to his God. Right. So they couldn't find nothing else on Daniel. So they made a law and a decree that you couldn't pray at a certain time. And that's what people would do. They will watch you. Don't think people are not watching you. They're watching you. They're waiting for you to say something. They're waiting for you to do something. They're waiting for you to be imperfect. They're waiting for you to be imperfect so they can say, I told you. I got you. They want to have a reason. But when you are spiritual and you know who you are and you trust God, you already know that's part of the enemy's tactic. That's part of his plan. He does the same tactics over and over. So once you get used to it, it won't bother you as much. Right? It won't bother you. You'll know how to navigate around it. People will look to make you look bad. When God has favor on you, people will put out lies on you. Right? People will put out lies on you. They will lie on you, lie on your character. Make a little mountain. What is the saying? Make a molehill out of a mountain. Or a mountain out of a mole, whichever way it goes. Okay? People will find little things. So people could look at you. People will lie on you to get people to look at you in a different light. They'll look at you so people could look at you in a different light. Oh, she ain't as perfect as she, claimed to be. No, we're not claiming to be perfect. I'm not claiming to be perfect. But I am claiming to do what's right. I am going to do what's right. And it burns people up on the inside when you have the discipline. When you have discipline not to bow down to your flesh. When you have discipline to turn down your plate and not eat and fast. When you have discipline, people hate that. They hate when you could do the spiritual things that God called you to do. Oh, I wouldn't do that. You don't need to do all that. It don't take all that. It don't take all that for you. And that's why I told y'all in the earlier video, it's not good to tell people what you're doing. It's not good to tell people what you're doing. But try to find fault and occasion. They will try to find an issue with you. Because if they could find a flaw in you, it makes them feel good about themselves. Instead of them dealing and working on themselves, they want to find a flaw in you so they can feel good and say, I just feel good. She got her issues. That's what people want to do. And you have to be aware of the enemy devices, because I call it baiting. The enemy will try to bait you. He will use anybody who's willing. He will use anybody who's willing. He will use your children. He will use your coworker. He will use your husband. He will use your mother. He will use your dad. Anybody who's not being led by the Holy Spirit, the enemy will use them. He will use them against you. Them in-laws, he will use them. But you have to be aware of his devices. See, when you spend personal time with God, he'll give you the tools that you need to navigate in this world. Because if you want to believe it or not, we are in a war. It's spiritual. That's why you have so many people just doing some of the heinous things. You have people saying things, doing things that just don't make sense. And we brush it off like it's nothing. But when you have a personal relationship, God can help you navigate through this thing with peace, with the peace of mind, peace in your spirit, peace in your soul. And people will get jealous of that too. Because you're at peace within your soul. You're not being swayed and pulled by what's going on in the world. Because you know you operate on kingdom. What goes on in the kingdom is different what goes on in this world. You tapping in on another level. Because this world is still the same world. But you have to just become a different person. So you can live in a different spiritual realm. You can navigate in this world. You can still be happy. There's a reason to smile. There's a reason to be happy. Regardless of what's going on in the world. See, people can't fathom that. When they're not really tapped in, they can't fathom you walking around smiling. You walking around still happy. You're walking around thankful. They can't fathom that because they've got too much of the world in them. They don't know it's good to just be thankful for the little things. Be thankful that you got a car. Be thankful that you got clean water. Be thankful that you got a roof over your head. Be thankful that you got a job. Be thankful that you got food. People don't know how to give thanks. And that's why they'll see someone who's spiritually tapped in and just happy, and they want to try to destroy that. They want to try to destroy that and call it fake because they're not tapped in. But when you know who you are, you'll let that stuff roll off your shoulder. You'll let it roll off your shoulder. But people will try to find an occasion with you because you're too good to be true. You seem like you too perfect. You're not claiming to be perfect. You're not saying you're perfect. You don't put people down. You don't elevate yourself above them. You're a servant. You help people. You're an earth angel. That's what you are. You're a true angel. Your energy is good. When you come around, you bring good energy. And you can see them demons run too. When you come in the room, you can see them evil spirits. You can see that hate. You can see that jealousy. You can see it all. But you see it and you still move accordingly. You don't say, I see you, devil. You don't be like, I rebuke you. No, you see it and you keep it moving. You know how to move. You know when to move. That's a gift you have. You nonchalant about it. You very nonchalant. I know I be nonchalant. But I be seeing everything. And I still treat people accordingly. That's a skill set. You have to know how to still treat people like human beings, knowing they're a snake. You still have to treat people right, knowing they were a snake and they'll bite you in a minute. Any minute, they'll bite you, but you still got to treat them right. You still have to respect them. Now you ain't got to break bread with them. Now I ain't telling you that lie. You ain't got to break bread with them. You ain't got to do all the extras, but you still got to do right. You still have to shed your light, shine your light, let your light shine, because we are spirits. What people call, we are energy. And energy, like they say, energy, spirits, whatever you want to name it. I say spirits. Spirits recognize spirits. Them spirits know who to try. They know who to play with. They know. And it's not like you're saying like you're big and bad, but spirits know who they can try. Just like our children. These kids smart. Them kids know what parent to ask for certain things. They know what parent will let them slide with stuff. I knew, right? I knew my grandparents raised me. I knew who to ask for certain things to get my way. That's manipulation, but I knew. Kids know I can ask my mama. My mama will say yes to this. But if I ask my daddy gonna say no. Kids know. I knew. I knew if I wanted to go to the dance, I used to ask my granddad, because my grandmother was a devout Christian woman. She wasn't letting us go to no dance. But my granddad was the man of the house. I asked my granddad to let me go. My granddad would let me go. But I knew that. You see? People know. It was wrong. Lord, forgive me for that. That was being, that was manipulative. What is it? What was the spirit of that? Knowing I can ask this person, but I can ask this person. Manipulating. Lord, forgive me. But we know. We know what spirits are trying. We know. And be careful too around people who know you don't do certain things or you don't go certain places, but they would try to set you up. Those people are dangerous. You got to be careful. Always be in that. Always be walking in the spirit. Always be tapped in the spirit where you're being led by your discernment. You're not just doing stuff. Always be led by that. Because you don't want to be making the wrong turn. You don't want to be going places that you shouldn't be, going to. That's in anything. That's just going to the store, going to Winn-Dixie, going to Publix, going to Aldi, going to, a department store. You want to be led because, something may be going on there. If your spirit telling you don't go today or don't go now, you got to be tapped in knowing you shouldn't be going. So I wanted to come give you all that message. People always try to find an occasion with you. Go read the book of Daniel. Read the book of Daniel. I always like reading that story because when people are just upset because you want to live a certain way or you have certain beliefs, people tend to get jealous of that and they want to plot and plan against you. And that's my thing. When you say you don't do certain things or you don't believe in certain things, or whatever it is that you say you don't do, whatever. By you saying you don't do it and you're standing on your square, it makes other people around you feel bad. I'm not sure why that is, but it makes them feel bad. You're not telling them not to do what they're doing. You're not judging them. But it by you wanting to do right or by you doing right is bringing conviction to those around you who are doing wrong. By you saying you don't want to hang out with people who cheat on their spouses, they're cheating on their spouses, you don't want to hang out with them. that makes other people around them who hang out with cheating spouses feel bad. Because like my grandmother always say, birds of a feather flock together. I didn't understand that for the life of me until I got older. Because you say you don't want to steal them people time on the job. You want to do what you got to do, clock in and clock out when you're supposed to. Your coworkers don't like you. Because you say you don't want to do what the family has been doing all their life. Thugging, drugging, all that, drinking, whatever. You don't want to do that. Not everybody in your family hates you. But you see what I'm saying? Whatever it is you say you don't want to do, you want to live righteously. You want to do what's right. It's bringing about raising up anger in those who are not doing right. Why? Because it's showing them that they should be doing what's right. That's why. It's showing that they shouldn't be doing what they are doing. That's why. When you learn that we're not fighting against flesh and blood, you're going to realize that if you do the work, you have the power to overcome a lot of things. When you realize we're not fighting against flesh and blood, and you start doing the spiritual work, you can overcome a lot of things. You can get through this life still in your right mind. Because when you don't understand we're in a spiritual fight, people will bring wars to your doorstep that are not your wars. That's why you got to be careful who you connect with. When you connect with certain people, whatever they're battling with, you're going to start battling with. So you got to be careful who you connect with. Any relationship, romantic, friendship, family, co-workers, any type of relationship, you got to always keep certain boundaries up to protect your spirit. Because if not, you're going to pick up on them. You're going to pick up what they have. If they got a gossiping spirit, you're going to start gossiping every day at work. If they got a fearful spirit, you're going to start picking up on that fear. If they got a lustful spirit and all they talk about is lustful things, you're going to start picking up on that. If they are depressed and you talking to them, exchanging words all the time, you're going to start feeling depressed and anxious. You're going to start feeling what they are feeling when you're exchanging words with them, when you're communing with them on the phone, when you have them in your graces, you're breaking bread with them. You're going to, that's why when you talk to certain people, you get off the phone with them, you feel heavy. Some people you just chat and you get off the phone and it's just okay. But you get off the phone with certain people, you're heavy, you're depressed, you're mean, because you don't picked up what they got going on. So I wanted to tell you all, and I had to bring you all this message. I know I came back twice today, but I wanted to bring you all this message to let you all know, when you walk in that righteous spirit and you want to do what's right, you've learned that doing the wrong things brought you a lot of turmoil and brought you a lot of heartbreak and brought you a lot of pain, and you decided to walk and do what's right, and you start walking and doing things that are righteously, people are going to be upset with that. They're going to go and start digging in your past and trying to find out who you are and talk to people about you. Girl, I work with this girl. What you know about her? They want to go to calling and looking up your background. Oh, this person, my acquaintance. I met her at this event. What you know about her? Like people want to know about you. But when they realize your past is so far removed from you, God has made you a total new creature, and then they can't find no occasion, they can't find no dirt on you, then they're going to create some dirt. They're going to create some dirt, you know? They're going to create some dirt when they can't find anything on you. That's how it go. And people go to looking at you funny. You realize people energy change when they come around you. You feel all them different energy shifts. I can always tell when somebody been on talked about me. I can tell somebody been on talked about me. I can tell when somebody been on said something crazy. It's always in that energy. You can feel it shift. I always tell when they feel some type of way. Look, I could tell, and I just sit there like, really? Like, you feel some type of way. I've offended you about something, and they'll just sit there. And I know I probably been offended them about something that I said, and it wasn't directly to them, but it's because of that truth. I can feel when that energy they snatch that energy up. That energy changes. That's why I'm very careful who I connect with, because I know me, right? I know me. And I know that I'm called to speak truth, right? I'm called to speak truth. Whether that's my truth, I never get here and be so hypocritical, because I know I got my truth, okay? And I know when people get close to me, because I know I got good energy, right? I can get along with so many people. I got good energy. But when people get close up on you, close up on me, and they realize I'm going to speak the truth regardless, whether I like you or not, the truth gonna be the truth. I got to speak it. I know people tend to pull back, right? They tend to pull back, but I can't help how I am. And I'm okay with that. I used to feel bad for that, because I used to not want to speak truth, because then I know I'm gonna lose this person. Oh, I'm gonna lose my family member. My sister gonna stop talking to me. My brother gonna stop talking to me. And I had to speak some hard truths to some of my family members. And it wasn't easy, but I had to do what God put in my heart and convicted me to say, and I had to speak it. And it wasn't easy. And I knew some of those relationships would be destroyed after I spoke the truth. I knew that. I've had to speak some truth to my children. And I knew that the truth would change the dynamics of the relationships. These lights going out here. I guess that's my sign for me to go home. So, and I'm okay with that. Before I used to be afraid, right? Before I used to be afraid to speak the truth. But I know once I realize I come in purity and I come in love, and I'm not trying to make a person feel bad, but I'm coming because I'm convicted to tell the truth, I became okay. I became okay. So once I learned that I got to speak the truth regardless, I got to speak the truth, and I can't not speak the truth, I learned to be okay. Either people gonna love me or not. because I know the truth is not coming from a malicious place. It's not coming from a place of trying to make you feel low. You know, it's not coming from that place, because some people truth can be wrapped up in jealousy. It's true, but you saying it because you jealous and you want the person to feel bad. No, I never want people to feel bad, but the truth does hurt. And I thank God for my grandmother, who imparted recognizing that the truth is so important, and teaching me to stand on truth. My grandmother, she always, regardless of how it hurt my feelings, she always would tell me the truth. And she brought that correction and love. She brought that correction and love. And I used to hate it. I'm not going to lie. You know, when you're a teenager, you want to do what that flesh want to do. You want to rebel and do what you want to do. But my grandmother, she spoke the truth, and she was so, and the truth don't have to be all loud and boisterous. My grandmother had this little, baby, she had this little voice, you know, she had this little, not soft spoken, but it was like a subtle, it wasn't loud. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't assertive. It was like, baby, you know, you're wrong for that. It was like a tone that she didn't have to assert herself. That truth asserted itself. Look, that truth asserted itself. And I used to boo-hoo cry. But when I got through snotting and crying, because my flesh was fighting and mad, when I got through crying and snotting, I got up. And every time I got up from the truth, I was a better person. I became a better person. I became a little stronger. I was like, you know what? My grandmother was right. I looked in that mirror. Yes, S. Bloom's creation. It is a mirror. I started looking in the mirror. My grandma, right? I shouldn't have said that. That was mean. But if I didn't have that correction, I wouldn't be able to receive how I've been able to receive over the years, so I can continue to grow. Because truth gonna cut you. That truth hurts. That truth requires us to level up. It requires us to become a different person. And I thank God for sending me my grandmother, who had so much wisdom, and she imparted all those spiritual gifts and wisdom and knowledge in me. And I'm glad I was at a place to receive it. Although I wanted to rebel, I cried, but crying is not going to kill me. Hope you too don't ding the video. Crying didn't take me out, because my flesh couldn't have its way. My flesh couldn't have its way, but when I got up, guess what? I was a better person. When I got up, I was a stronger person. When I got up, I was wiser. So crying doesn't hurt. It's okay to cry. Just get up and be a changed person. Okay? So, those are my messages for today. That was a lot. It's a lot to, when I tell you it's a lot, it takes a lot out of me when I bring these messages. That's why I would disappear. I would disappear and I would come back, because I have to be graced. I can't just be coming on here talking about things. I have to be graced to bring these messages, because it takes a lot out of me. When I impart in you all, I have to go and fill myself back up, because this took from me. It took from me. So I hope you all be blessed. And I'm excited. I'm excited about, I'm excited about life. And I'm excited about where I am in life right now. I'm excited about the growth. I'm excited about being able to share with you my experiences and being able to impart in you guys and talk to my chosen family. I'm excited about that. So I hope this message blessed you all. You all be blessed, and I will talk to you all later.